there drama with him? I don't remember any drama.
A lot of the lore, as far as I'm familiar with, comes from that book he wrote, Francis of the Filth, right?
I'm blocking you.
I remember I did a video about Filthy Frank years ago. It got like claimed or something, I think by him or his label or something. And I was trying to get it back up, and I remember I messaged someone who knew someone who like worked on his label or something, 88 Rising. And I was talking to him, and he was like, yeah, I mean, this is just, keep in mind, this is just hearsay. I don't know how real this is. But I was told that like, basically Joji like didn't at the time like that kind of stuff being mentioned at all. Wavy and Chassis, do you remember the fake Filthy Frank guy? The imposter Frank? TV Filthy Frank 2? I have no idea what he's up to. I haven't heard of this guy in a while. #1 Filthy Frank fan. I guess he renamed the channel. Joji Smithereens album review. The N-word. Whoa.
Let's go. Nectar.
That's not the N-word. Pink guy incel. I remember when the channel went down, there were a few Filthy Frank clones. There was another smaller one. I think that was a girl, but I do remember this one.
Hey.
This is like a song.
Hey, what? Yeah, okay. Skirt. Balls.
He got 300k subs just from being a literal clone. Pretty impressive for a clone channel. Kind of shows the demand for Filthy Frank content, right?
I need some. Please, just give me your. I bet it feels wet and I bet it feels mushy. I never get laid. I'm an incel. I feel like Jeffrey Epstein in his jail cell.
Base.
Someone just please come me. Someone come and kill Bill me. What? Yeah, just slice up my. I don't even need this. Where's the clip? I don't know. I'm genuinely asking, bro.
Genius bars, if you ask me. Genius bars. Filthy Frank from Temu. A pink guy from Wish. Was there drama with this back in the day? Did Willie Mack make a video about this? Too Filthy Frank to Willie Mack. The new Filthy Frank. Girl Filthy Frank is insane. This is old Willie Mack stuff. Was there drama with him? I don't remember any drama.
To a lot of creators, this is what YouTube is all about. This is art.
We're gonna get noise complaints.
That's Filthy Frank, one of the most legendary creators on the platform. We've seen a lot of guys like this, and even this.
With a toothbrush.
Please, no more of this.
More.
But we haven't
Way
seen
more.
many people try and reenact Filthy Frank, and if you don't know much about YouTube, you'd wonder why. When Filthy Frank retired and moved on to music, he left an audience of over 6 million people. That's a huge audience that suddenly became homeless. A lot of opportunity for other creators to sweep in and grow their channels. But they didn't, and the ones that tried got their channels completely deleted off of YouTube. TVN, a 21-year-old creator, was deleted for putting minors in potentially harmful situations. He was largely the only one in his YouTube videos.
So was he just a minor? What minors did he put in harmful situations? Why do they even ban him?
That doesn't even make sense. He's 21. He's a goddamn adult, dude. Legally able to drink. They pretty much prevented any other Filthy Frank type creators from rising to the top. To me, it essentially feels like they deleted an entire genre off of YouTube. Filthy Frank retired. His fan base is roaming. Rising creators.
Yeah, I mean, they removed a bunch of the big Filthy Frank videos too. Remember that? Like they're like you can't watch the original like vomit cake or hair cake or anything. You can't watch any of those. TV, I feel like Filthy Frank censorship might be able to find something about it. I remember there was a little wave a while ago where they got a few of his videos. News. There's no articles about it.
How did this?
Who the f are you? I'm sorry. You're disqualified automatically. You're disqualified from the running, from my perspective. You can find some re-uploads of them on YouTube, but I know he got wiped. Filthy Frank videos, banned. People I hate. Did he delete this one or was this? I know he deleted this one, but I don't know how many of them he actually deleted himself. The time Joji tried to delete the Filthy Frank wiki. Did he do that? I didn't even know that. I know he for a while, he was kind of shunning the Filthy Frank brand. I saw some YouTube clip where Ethan Klein was talking about how he was like congratulating him on his music success, and then Frank or sorry, I guess Joji texted him and was like, "Don't call me Filthy Frank." Kind of sad, but there definitely was the impression that he didn't want to be talked about in that way. He wanted his music career to kind of carry on. He didn't want to have to be burdened by the past. I remember I did a video about Filthy Frank years ago, and I was trying to. It got like claimed or something. I think by him or his label or something. And I was trying to get it back up, and I remember I messaged someone because they had I messaged someone who knew someone who like worked on his label or something, 88 Rising. And I was talking to him, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, this is just. Keep in mind, this is just hearsay. I don't know how real this is." But I was told that like basically Joji like does not didn't at the time like that kind of stuff being mentioned at all. Like if you say Filthy Frank to him, he gets pissed off. And I think it's because he thought that his old videos would hurt his career as an artist and make him not be taken seriously, you know? And in retrospect, that seems dumb, obviously considering how big he is now, but certainly at the time, it makes sense that he would be concerned about, you know, what was going on, and think that maybe some of that stuff could come back to bite him, you know? But now there's like people in pink guy costumes who just go to Joji concerts, and he, at some point, sometimes he like has them on stage, he with them, he thinks they're cool.
We wore pink suits to the Joji concert, and they let us onto the main floor for free.
Pretty swag. It's wholesome, it's nice. It's cool to see that the fan base for this stuff carries on. Because I feel like you don't really see people talk about Filthy Frank nowadays on YouTube. It's just like little corners of the internet that remember how good it was. But I wonder if this content ever came back, like what would happen. Give me love, They're all Harlem shaking in unison. Joji brings out Filthy Frank live. Lol. Pink guy's still alive. Joji Smithereens tour. This pink guy. Oh, he's not playing the keys. What the f is this? Because he's humping. Pink guy is still alive. Pace. But yeah, it seemed like he wanted to walk away from that stuff for a while. And then recently, obviously, we've seen with the Dracula Flow stuff, it seems like he's getting back into comedy. There's a lot of theories about this, but it seems somewhat confirmed that he has involvement in this stuff now, right? I think it's pretty much confirmed at this point that Joji has some involvement with this channel. Yeah. I saw Joji in concert in 2022 during the Smithereens tour, and can confirm he shows love to the pink eye enthusiasts. Well, that's cool. It seems like he's more accepting of it now. But if you watch interviews with him at the time, he definitely seemed like, he seemed kind of nervous that all he would ever be is the guy who posts like the silly videos. This isn't the interview I'm thinking of, not Lil Yachty. There's an old one with like, oh yeah, this one right here. The viral mastermind behind the Harlem Shake meme wrote an album about heartbreak.
Back when I was too afraid to make the transition, it was a genuine concern. I was under the impression that, you know, that was my pinnacle.
It's your peak.
This is my opus. This is my opus. Like
he basically thought that that's all he could ever be. That was the biggest he could ever be, and he didn't know if the transition could even work. And I would suspect that that's probably why he was so nervous about people even mentioning the Filthy Frank stuff, because he wanted to be taken seriously as like this, you know, like lo-fi emo artist or whatever the.
I'm gonna be yelling on the internet, making semi-valid points here and there. You know, I thought that was like, I was depressed that was gonna be it. I fell into that pit for about a year, where I was just like pumping out of fear.
A few years ago, Joji uploaded a
I remember he took this video down, and I think at a certain point he was copyright claiming people who were posting it.
Video where he broke character.
I have some news for all of you.
He explained that he developed an illness that gave him stress-induced seizures.
Yeah, I remember this. His voice was hurting because of the videos. Like he had some kind of like throat issues, and he had stress-induced seizures, which I think got worse as a result of the videos he was making. So he had some serious stuff going on.
But a few days later, he deleted the video. It's still hard for him to talk about.
I have a little brain thing that I have to, I gotta take medication like twice a day for it. I realized, you know, I'm not as invincible as I used to be. I just kind of strayed away from stuff that had conflict in general.
I feel like the really interesting thing about Joji and Filthy Frank is, you know, if you take like Ethan Klein or iDubbbz or anyone from that era, really, I guess it's really just Ethan Klein and iDubbbz, right? Those are really the guys people talk about. They kind of lost their swag. Like they had big audience shedding moments where people didn't like them anymore. Ethan Klein still, you know, he's still doing pretty well on his podcast channel. iDubbbz's channel is dead, right? But Joji just kind of, he got out while it was still good. He just moved on to a new thing, got even bigger, you know? So from that perspective, he's the only one who didn't have that kind of moment where the audience turned on him, right? He just kind of left and did his own thing. Max Mofo, yeah, people still like him and anything for views. And John Tron, you know, he's kind of from that era. He's still doing well. But yeah, I mean, you know, in the case of like, I feel like Ethan and iDubbbz were like the biggest guys other than Frank in this kind of like scene. I guess there was Leafy, but he was never really friends with these dudes. None of them ever seemed to really like him, right? But he you know, he ended up finding a new thing, which was music. He was passionate about. He blew up doing it. He was really successful, and it's you know, it's somewhat inspiring to see a YouTuber branch out successfully into a new area, you know. But obviously, there were people who wanted to fill that void, which is what Willie Max was talking about in this video. Of all the content, they wanted to capture it in spirit, basically.
Creators are getting struck down and established ones have been banned. I feel like the only reason Frank's channel is still up is because he was a god on this web.
This is a dark time on YouTube. Everybody thought everybody was going to be banned or something. The Joji and Kanye remixes are fire. Actually, I haven't heard those.
I connected to some of the biggest and most powerful YouTubers.
Gay?
So the only person who's really allowed to come back and pick up the torch again is Filthy Frank himself. Sort of. A channel called Filthy Frank 2, not to be confused with the real Filthy Frank's actual second channel, Too Damn Filthy. Well, it's a fan-made channel meant to pick up the story and lore of the Filthy Frank universe. Yes, there is an entire universe and lore which largely takes place in this guy's dorm room.
A lot of the lore, as far as I'm familiar with, comes from that book he wrote, Francis of the Filth, right? I never read that book. Was that a good book? I remember back in the day, I think Quentin Reviews did some kind of review about it, but I don't remember anything about his video, honestly. I don't remember anything about it, but he never finished it. It's cringe. He wrote a book? Yeah, he wrote a book. You didn't know this? Filthy Frank book. Francis of the Filth. There's an audio book voiced by AI Filthy Frank and AI Joji.
Francis of the Filth, Chapter 1.
What the hell?
Self.
Isn't it like exploring the lore? Isn't that what it's
The
about?
ceiling then opened up like a wet pouch, pulsing and pushing out what looked like, for lack of a better description, a black fetus. Still screaming, it slid onto the ground and began to unfold. Dressed completely in black, it was as though he was the very source of darkness itself.
AI Joji, this is a whole channel. Filthy Frank 1 a.m. freestyle. Joji AI Filthy Frank cover. Whoa, turn up.
As requested, AI Filthy Frank sings 1 a.m. freestyle by Joji.
Well, it sounds good.
Damn.
Did anyone like review other than Quentin reviews? Anybody review his book? Filthy Frank book review. The unhinged lore of Filthy Frank. I've seen this guy's channel before. Did he just go through all the lore from the book or something? I assume that's what this is.
George Miller's Filthy Frank is the closest thing I think we have to an urban legend on YouTube. On his channel, he would play the aforementioned Frank character and it's actual just drivel and none of it will matter. We get it, Frank is powerful in the Omniverse. Story. Of all the books I've read, this was one of them. As I mentioned earlier, you can only take this book so seriously. It only takes itself so seriously. And if you think about what it was trying to do, it was attempting to stitch together a solid continuity from a bunch of videos that quite honestly had no larger story in mind when they were made. The main issue I had is that it just doesn't really work in the continuity of the channel. Also, I guess this sadly means all the Cancer Crew / Shrimps and Boys activities are sadly non-canon. I'm devastated. I guess I was just expecting something more akin to those Naruto Filthy Frank anime memes.
Oh wait, that was fire. I forgot about that. Like the AMVs. I feel like I haven't seen this video in like 5 years. Akatsuki Special Spinners Jutsu. Frank's channels can be seen but memes. Nostalgic. We miss you, Frank. 2 years ago, people are still commenting on this. The Too Damn Filthy channel. I miss this shit, bro. This is a different area. This is a different era. I remember when this came out, I think I was 13 or 14 when the Pink Eye album came out, and I was blasting that shit on the bus so hard, bro. Hot Nickel Ball and a... That shit was so good. White is Right. I think they took that one off Spotify or something, but that one was one of the best ones. Gaze for Donald. This one was too good.
Make me kind of hard, Donnie. Donald is the best. I want to suck his... I love his red face, and I love his juicy tits.
Too good. Too good. A different era, my friend. I'm trying not to be too nostalgic, you know? I'm trying not to have that, trying to have it take over, but... Because I feel like so many people focus on nostalgia so much. I feel like everybody's obsessed with nostalgia, and it's kind of cringe. Like, you gotta look to the future at a certain point. But this is an era, bro. This is definitely an era. And the problem is, like, if you're obsessed with nostalgia, you're not making anything new, then eventually what you're gonna be nostalgic for is being nostalgic over old shit. Gotta think to the future. Gotta think to the future, my friend. Gotta think to the future. But it was a good era. This is that Omagird. This is not Omagird humor. Do not slander it. That's not true. That's not true at all. That's not accurate, okay? This is not like Tumblr. This is a good era. This is a very good era. You weren't there, so you can experience it like I did. Anyway, Joji was the only one that never fully apologized for what he did, and that's what kept his followers, people liking what he became. Yeah, I think so. Well, because he never pissed on the old fans, right? He never shit on them. He just moved on to a new thing. But he never, like, cast them out directly. He never was publicly, like, shit on them. Even though, from what we know behind the scenes, he probably did have some kind of problem with the fan base at some point, you know? He never really went deep on them, which I think a lot of people can appreciate. It's all just fine to indulge in as long as you don't refuse to accept the new things can be good too. Yeah, that's true, but I feel like a lot of nostalgia culture now is just like constantly reminiscing on the past, and like I feel like they're not accepting a lot of new things. This is obviously not like a huge issue everywhere, but it does happen.